Hello there and welcome to the Bulletin. I'm Stanley Nyaringita with the latest details in the country and beyond. We'll start off with matters infrastructure. Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has announced that proceeds from the Kenya Pipeline Company, KPC, initial public offering, that is IPO, will be directed into the National Infrastructure Fund. According to Mbadi, the proceeds from the KPC IPO will be directed into the National Infrastructure Fund, which will channel resources into projects such as highways, railways, ports, energy systems, irrigation schemes, and other strategic projects that will accelerate economic growth and create opportunities for future generations. The government expects the NIF to play a critical role in mobilizing long-term financing, attracting private investment, and reducing reliance on debt and taxation for development. Meanwhile, President William Ruto has announced a major salary increase for police constables, raising their monthly pay from 38,975 Kenyan shillings to 57,700 shillings. The move is part of the government's broader plan to improve the welfare of security officers and enhance their living standards. According to the Ministry of Interior, the final phase of the salary increment for police officers, prison officers and personnel from the National Youth Service will be implemented in July 2026. The government says that the increment is aimed at boosting morale, improving service delivery and recognizing the critical role played by security agencies in maintaining peace and stability across the country. And matters devolution, Nairobi County Assembly Majority Leader Peter Imotok and a section of MCAs allied to the broad-based government have distanced the Azimio coalition from an alleged impeachment attempt against Governor Johnson Sakaja, terming the claims political rhetoric meant to derail the city's development agenda. Speaking during a press briefing on Wednesday, Imotok said the MCAs remain united under the Azimio coalition and are committed to supporting the governor to ensure the Nairobi residents continue receiving services without political disruption.
And therefore unequivocally opposed to any attempt to impeach the governor at its critical time, particularly when the city stands at the threshold of historic development under a cooperation agreement by His Excellency the President. Let's turn matters politics. Jubilee Deputy Party Leader Jeremiah Kioni has said the Jubilee Party will start holding separate rallies alongside the United Opposition Alliance, claiming the party's aspirants are denied access to address opposition supporters and market their policies. Speaking to reporters in Nyahururu town, Kioni claims that United Opposition rallies in the Mount Kenya region have been favoring former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's party, that is DCP.
Na sisi kama wanajubilee tusipochunga hatutapata nafasi ya kujiuza kwa Wakenya, kwa sababu hiyo United Opposition Platform sana sana inaonekana ni nzuri sana na watu ya DCP wanapata nafasi pia, na kuna kameza ingine inawekwa mbele ya watu pale, na hako kameza pia kanaanza kuleta aibu. Kalituletea aibu kule pande ya Gilgil wakati mama a woman candidate ambaye anataka kuwa MCA hiyo sehemu ya biashara alitedewa mabaya. Na tutaki our women leaders being violated by men when they are looking for leadership. For that reason, itatubidi tuanze kufikiria kwa haraka, na sisi tumekubaliana kuanzia hapa Nyandarua we'll start moving as aspirants kutafuta hizo viti, and we'll go to every part of this country, na tutaenda tukiuza all the United Opposition candidates, lakini pia tujipatafutie nafasi ya kuwa viongozi. Mimi mwenyewe nilinyimwa nafasi ya kusalimia watu ya Ndaragwa, watu ambao nimeongoza zaidi ya miaka 10, na ni watu ambao wenyewe ndio walikuwa wanasema mpatieni mic, hatutaki mambo ya aibu dogo kama yale.
Some interesting news here for you in case you're planning to go to Dubai. Kenya Airways will operate special repatriation flights between Nairobi and Dubai on the 4th and 5th of March, following approval of landing slots by Dubai airport authorities. The move comes after the Dubai International Airport resumed limited operations on the 2nd of March, permitting only a small number of repatriation flights. The airline says the flights are strictly for UAE citizens and residents traveling between the two cities and are not part of the regular schedule. Passengers currently in Dubai have been urged not to proceed to the airport until they receive confirmed departure details. Kenya Airways continues to monitor the evolving situation and will resume full scheduled operations once approvals are granted by UAE authorities. Meanwhile, the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya is warning that delays in reviewing key land policies could worsen disputes and slow down urban development in the country. The body is now calling for reforms and greater transparency in land administration. Speaking at a media forum in Nairobi, officials said the national land policy and related legal frameworks are yet to be fully updated despite rapid urban growth. They argue that stalled reforms continue to fuel land disputes, some of which spill into social and political tensions. The surveyors are also pushing for digitized land registries and expanded use of geospatial technology to curb fraud and improve accountability. The institution says collaboration between professionals, government and the media will be key in driving the reforms.
My name is Anita.
Well, land as an instrument or as a resource, there is a lot of evolution that is going on. Now we are talking about issues, say, like climate change. We're also talking about relationships between institutions. Like you have, say, NLC, you have the Ministry of Lands, you have different land laws that have come into place. Like now we are talking about conversion of the title deeds and that people had so that we can be able to bring them into a common registration system. So these are issues that need to be clearly spelled out in the policy so that they can be able to provide a direction.
Issues land are very critical and they touch on everybody. And to me, they are more important than possibly the stories about politics, we're insulting who, we're saying what about who. These are issues of that touch on people's bread and butter, on people's security. So we urge you to ensure that you maintain this kind of engagement with the media, both at formal and informal level, so that will give you platforms through which you can articulate matters of public interest, push on positive regulation or positive legislation, and also archaic laws that also exist on our land issues, because I know they are quite, you find some laws that don't make sense in 60 years after independence. How do we ensure that also those laws are, our legislators, our county assemblies are informed on the need to change some of those laws?
And matters crime, the officer attached to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, who is accused of murdering his wife, Florence Nyaga, has surrendered to authorities. According to Nairobi North Regional Police Commander Emmanuel Jono, the suspect surrendered yesterday at Naivasha Police Station and was later transferred to Kasarani Police Station. So at the time of surrender, the suspect had sustained a minor knife stab wound. The motive for the murder is still unknown.
Because if the suspect was able to surrender himself to the police station at Naivasha, that was an act of guilty mind, and he'll be able to give more information on the same. So as we conclude the investigation, the DC officer at Kasarani sub-county will be able to give us the real motive of what really happened.
And to sports news, English Premier League. That's where we wrap it up. My name is Stanley Nyaringita. Goodbye for now. More coming your way at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m., including The Insight with Dibalena.